Welcome to the Seahawkers Podcast with your hosts, Adam Emmert.
This isn't a Hallmark movie. Sally Fields doesn't star in this film. This is Left Tackle.
And Brandon Schultz.
I believe, based on everything that I've seen from Bleacher Report in the past, that this is Jason Cole's fault.
Go Hawks!
Welcome to episode 155 of the Seahawkers Podcast. I'm Brandon Schultz, and joining me live and in person, Adam Emmert.
It is awesome to be here with you live and in person, Brandon. You were kind enough to bring me a new microphone cover, which is really cool because my other one was faded out by the sun, but I'm afraid if my lips touch this Arizona Cardinal red microphone cover you bought for me, my lips will fall off.
That's Oklahoma Sooner Crimson, Adam. That has nothing to do with Cardinals colors.
Here's what I'm going to pretend. I'm going to pretend that it is Montana Grizzly Maroon.
There you go.
Okay.
That actually works perfectly.
It does work perfectly. Okay. But this is still dangerously close to a division rival color. I'm just not saying, I'm just saying.
It got rid of the Broncos orange microphone color.
That's true. That's true.
I feel like that's a bonus.
Yeah, and it's only half orange really now.
Right. Right.
So,
because it's nice and faded.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we got a big show today. Of course, we're still fired up from the draft, and we want to.
Are we?
Okay. Yeah, I choose to be fired up about the draft because of some of the other things that I've seen in the news. I'm not going to let that bring me down.
Okay, I got you.
So I'm choosing to continue to be fired up about the draft, and we're going to talk.
Bring me down. Yeah.
Exactly. Frank Clark stuff. Jaron Reed stuff.
Yep.
Jaron Reed and Frank Clark. The Seahawks defensive line is not going to bring me down.
Absolutely not. They definitely won't bring down opposing quarterbacks if they end up suspended over any of this catfish.
But we are going to be talking about the draft and kind of some of our expectations of this 2017 class of draft picks, because with regard to this draft class, I want to talk about this idea, this notion of the Legion of Boom 2.0. And I'll talk about what's kind of...
Yeah, you have some 0.0 angst.
I have some 0.0 issues.
Yeah.
And we'll get to those. And also, we got some Seahawks news, of course, to cover from the past week or so. Let's get right into that news, Adam, because there's a lot of just little topics that have come up in the past week or so. One of those you mentioned. Should we get past this Jaron Reed issue now? Let's talk about that later.
Okay.
We don't know that much about it.
Okay. So what you're saying is you don't want to talk about it right now.
I don't want to talk about it right now.
Okay. I can see how difficult conversations go in your marriage now. I got it.
We'll put it off. We'll talk about it later.
It won't fester. It'll be fine.
And if we don't get to it, you'll know why.
Then everything will be better. Yeah. It'll magically solve itself.
Why don't we talk about happy things like Russell Wilson having a baby?
He
had a baby.
Yeah, see, to me, that wouldn't be a happy thing. That sounds like a lot of lack of sleep, and you don't get to watch TV you want to watch later on when they get a little older. And it's just all Dora all the time or whatever it is now. Like, nope, no thank you.
As long as it's not Caillou. There's good shows out there, though.
Are there?
Yeah, Word Girl, great show.
Okay.
One of a good fan favorite from the Mike Holmgren era of Seahawks, Justin Forsett, announced his retirement this last week, and just a guy that you root for. Well, and I guess it was even Pete Carroll era, because Justin Forsett was maybe part of the reason why when Marshawn Lynch came here,
exactly,
former Cal Bear, much like Marshawn, they played on the same Cal Bears team together, and maybe one of the reasons why it worked out so well for Marshawn Lynch coming here and having guys like Brandon Mebane and Justin Forsett on the team that give him that tie back to his home area.
Right, yeah. Apparently, if you want Marshawn Lynch to go anywhere, you either have to have an ex-college teammate or be his hometown. Yeah, those are the two factors that you need.
It helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, so take that, Buffalo.
Yeah.
You had none of those factors.
And that's why he had no business ever staying there ever.
And we saw Marshawn Lynch here this last week. Very excited to be in Oakland.
He's a happy guy.
How does that make you feel, seeing Marshawn Lynch just kind of ultra, maybe like we've never seen him as giddy?
Giddy? Yeah, there's the word. You know what it doesn't feel like at all? It doesn't feel like when you see an ex-girlfriend you really love, like move on with some dude and like find real happiness and they put it all over Facebook. It feels nothing like that.
Nothing like that?
Nothing. No.
You can't just say to yourself like, oh, it just makes me happy to see her happy.
Yeah, it really doesn't bother me. I really wish him the best, and I'm sure that they'll make a great couple. I mean, Raiders colors are going to look stupid on him, but that's fine.
But the thing about, unlike an ex-girlfriend getting together with a guy, you know that guy's moving to Vegas in a couple years, and there's no way that Marshawn Lynch is moving to Vegas.
No.
And so that the relationship is doomed to start out with.
It is.
But you know that, it could land him in Canton.
He's already in Canton. He doesn't need this for Canton. How many times do we have to go over this? He does not need to don an ugly ass uniform and go play for a team that I really strongly despise to end up in Canton. He doesn't need to do any of that.
It's interesting.
But it's okay. I'm not mad.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly
doesn't
not
bother
mad
me.
at all.
Doesn't bother me.
I wonder if there is some differences in fans on this, because go back to when the Seahawks were in the AFC West. The Raiders, a huge rival.
Yeah, screw those guys.
Right. Just like the Broncos.
Yeah.
Right.
Screw those guys.
I know. The only one that you Seahawks fans really don't care that much about is San Diego, because
Man, the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Chiefs to an extent, I think.
Yeah. I don't think screw you guys when I think of the Chiefs as much.
No. Well, but your dad's a huge fan too. So.
I know. Well, and you are too. So I can't
Not a huge fan.
No, you're a huge fan.
They're in my top 5.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm aware.
I had to pick a team to root against the Raiders and against the Broncos.
Right.
So I picked the Chiefs.
Right. I just picked whoever was going to win the division.
Okay.
And it turned out to be right.
Really?
Yeah, really.
I think I picked them to go much farther than you did.
Who, the Raiders?
The Raiders did not win that division.
They didn't?
No, the Chiefs won it.
It must have been like the last 2 weeks when Carr broke his leg.
After Carr broke his leg.
Oh, well,
the Chiefs came from
whatever,
behind.
dude. I can't foresee that crap. That's not my fault. Bad bone density on David Carr's part isn't my problem.
I like your selective memory, though, believing that you were correct in picking the division winner, when in fact I was the one who picked the division winner correctly.
It's an alternative division winner. Yeah.
Except they didn't.
Right. Well, it's people say these things, and you can look it up. What I really want to know is why Derek Carr's leg was broken, and who's really behind that. That's what we need to investigate.
Yes.
Not the fact that the Raiders somehow weren't division champions. That doesn't matter. Look over here.
We'll get the whiteboard out. We'll start making the connections.
Yeah.
And find out how.
You've been watching Glenn Beck again?
Maybe. Well, another thing that we saw in this last week, Doug Baldwin, number 88 on the NFL Top 100.
Yeah. Yeah, they had it off by a number.
It should have been 89.
Yeah. Even though that makes him lower, but it seems to work out. He was 70-something last year, wasn't he?
It seems too low.
Yeah. I mean, all he does is, be awesome. So...
And I think there was a center ahead of him.
Well, centers are people too, Brandon.
Yeah, well, not as much of a person as Doug Baldwin.
Well, no, because he's a full-grown man.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think if you just end up on the list for the most part, that's fine. I mean, look, Seattle wide receivers aren't ever going to get... I mean, unless the whole offense shifts like the Patriots did when Tom Brady started throwing the ball over the yard. But... the Seahawks receivers are never going to get the shine that a lot of other pass-first offenses are going to get. They're just not. The numbers aren't going to be there. It's a run-heavy team. So, I mean, just to make the list at all at that point is pretty impressive.
I wonder how many more Seahawks we'll see in the top 100 this year.
Well, Sherm will.
Sherm will be there.
Russ will be.
Russ will be there.
Cam's got to be.
Now, do Bennett and Averill make it? Or, well, Bennett was injured.
Bennett was injured. I bet you it'll just be Averill. Maybe they'll still put in Bennett. AP freaking made the list, and he played like 7 snaps.
Right?
Yeah.
He barely made the list, but...
He still made it, though. He played 7 snaps. Maybe it was 8. I don't know. But like it literally, I think he had 72 yards on the season or something like that.
Yeah, well, still one of the top players.
Well, if you don't play, then you're not one of the top players. Sorry, you didn't make the list that year. You were hurt.
He made it.
Yeah, well, that's an error.
He was hurt, and he still...
We could have gotten another center on the list.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Or maybe a Canadian punter. Just it's something.
There needs to be at least one Canadian punter.
Has there ever been a punter on the top 100?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's happened.
I don't watch the list for punters.
Said every person ever.
All right, well, let's get into the draft. And I want to start off this conversation by taking a look at all 11 players that the Seahawks drafted.
Yeah. Hall of Famers all after this year. They're all going to come out and set record-breaking numbers at their position this year, even if it's like playing like 10 corners at once on the field. Like, it's going to happen. They're all going to have like 46 interceptions apiece, retire, and go to the Hall of Fame all this year. Every one of these players, mark it down, check it off. That's happening. Now, realistic expectations.
I knew you would feel exactly that way, which is why I crafted this next question.
Okay.
Which, if you had to pick one of these 11 to not make the Hall of Fame, which one would you pick?
I would probably put my bet on... Who's the running back picked right at the end?
Chris Carson.
Yeah, that'd be my pick.
Okay, so Justin Sr. will make the Hall of Fame. Chris Carson, maybe like a 3 or 4 time All-Pro,
right?
But just misses it.
But in 1 year, he's like a 3 or 4 time All-Pro, because that's how good these guys are going to be. It's going to be immediate impact tomorrow. They're all going to be awesome.
I knew you were excited, maybe even more excited than I am about the draft class.
Hall of Famers. Like John Schneider. I mean, heck, put John Schneider in the Hall of Fame right now, just from this draft class right here.
But seriously,
you're talking about expectations. That's what I expect.
Well,
is that bar a little high?
It's good to set high expectations.
Okay.
But it's also good to set realistic expectations.
That's what I did.
Let's start off with which players from the draft would you expect to earn a starting job?
I would expect
week 1, no injuries.
Yep.
You know, which one of these guys is out there on the field for the first snap? An actual snap, not like a special teams.
I think
kickoff
Posick
snap.
has a real chance to be a starter week 1. Let's see. They said they didn't want Thompson at corner. They wanted Tyson at corner, right?
Right.
Or the Griffin. I'd say Griffin. I'd say he's got a
shot.
Pretty solid shot, considering Deshaun Shedd will not be back until a little later in the year. Those would be my 2 guys. I think the rest of those guys are going to be competing for backup time or rotational stuff. Like, McDowell's going to obviously be a rotational guy.
Sure.
Yeah, those would be my 2. How about you?
I could see McDowell out there
as a starter.
Potentially.
So you taking Mike B off the field?
It might be a passing down on first down.
Well, it always could be a passing down on first down. Every time.
Send out your NASCAR package on first down.
Every time for life. Well, they were in nickel 68% of the time last year, so
I'm saying just to scare them a little bit. Send all those guys.
Look. They didn't put out anybody here to go ahead and defend against the run up the gut. We're terrified. Hands ball off to running back right up the middle.
I'm defensive coordinator. For the first game, I'm just calling all out jailbreak
blitz.
Just a
zero blitz?
Yeah, from the first play call. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
So you send everybody after him.
That's the way you do it, huh?
I don't get paid to do this professionally.
Would you even cover any of the receivers? Would you bring all the corners and everybody too?
How does a zero blitz work? Is it everybody or do you actually
a zero blitz is everybody except for anybody who's manned up on a receiver.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Posick, I'm not quite sure about, though, as far as the starting lineup goes. We've heard Pete Carroll talk in the last week or so in terms of the offensive line, what that looks like in terms of competition.
Yeah, Tom Cable came out with an interview today.
It's interesting to me to not really know. We've talked about how drastic the changes potentially could be on the offensive line.
That pleases me.
Yeah, I could see how that would. I mean, there's obviously room for improvement when you're number 32. You only have upward to go, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they could get worse.
You could be an even worse number 32.
It was interesting. I was looking at.
Well, Tom Cable says that can't possibly happen because if you compare late April, early May last year compared to late April, early May this year, it's night and day.
I feel a lot better personally.
Do you?
I do.
I felt a lot better until Cable started going off about how much bigger George Fant got and how all he did was like study offensive lineman all year. And like he doesn't look like a power forward anymore. He looks like an offensive lineman with a square butt now. Like I
forget how this works every offseason. You forget that.
Oh, I remember.
All that happens in the offseason is guys get hyped up. All offseason. Oh,
I know. Some guy added 10 pounds of leg muscle, and so he's going to be that much stronger in the trenches. Another dude took off 2.5 pounds in the neck so that he can be faster running because he's a little more aerodynamic now. Like, I mean, there's always that hype about somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Some guy studied jiu-jitsu, and now he's going to be the best linebacker ever.
Well, here we have RJ from Coeur d'Alene says, in interviews lately with Pete Carroll and John Schneider, it seems that Reese Odiambo's name comes up quite a bit with nothing but positive feedback and expectations that he is going to make a big leap this season. In addition, it seems like they're backing up the hype by moving Glow back to right guard, which pretty much makes the left guard spot Reese's job to lose. RJ asks, are you guys buying or selling on the Reese train? As always, thank you guys and everyone behind the scenes for your hard work and making such an awesome podcast. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks, RJ. And the only thing I have to say to you is toot. Yeah, all aboard the Reese train. I'd love to see him play left guard. Yeah. I think he's got it in him. And he's another guy who got bigger, according to Tom Cable.
If you were to put together your ideal line, Jokel would be healthy at left tackle.
No, Joe Thomas would be healthy at left tackle.
Well, Joe Thomas is not on the
rest
team.
of the Cowboys would be starting. That would be my ideal line.
Ideally of the players currently on the team.
Oh, crap. Okay. So the best of the worst is what you're trying to get at.
It's the
Were they the worst?
We need to hype these guys up.
No.
We need to take a page out of the book from our coaches.
This is managing expectations, Brandon. And if we can sit here and take the bar all the way down, guess who's going to be disappointed when the season starts? Nobody. Okay? I'm trying to keep everybody from being disappointed later. This is why my kid is so pessimistic, yet somehow not that busted up.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, when I look at how the Seahawks improved in terms of paying their offensive linemen relative,
the one you like the least,
relative to the rest of the league. Mm-hmm. Seahawks at number 32 last season.
Yes.
They've moved to number 32. They're still at number 32.
Woo! Yeah, well, you got to pay.
But guess what? They're that much closer to the number 31 team.
Yeah, there you go. And a bunch of guys with a little experience.
Now, you know what? If they make paying Justin Britt a priority this offseason, get Justin Britt paid, I think we overtake the number 31 team.
Easy, man. Easy.
I
don't know. We can't have linemen starting to shrink the gap of income inequality in the NFL on the Seahawks. Nope, can't be done.
Now,
can't be done.
If they were paying their line, though, to the number 31 level in the league,
right?
Could we at least set expectations for fans
of 3 Super Bowls in a row? Yes.
I was going to say just to not have the worst offensive line.
No, that'd be 3 rings. just to that one little bit of improvement would be 3 rings. Oh, yeah.
Well, I think the one reason for optimism, and you hear it from the Seahawks, the reason for optimism being that idea that you have a lot of guys that now have 1 year of experience under their belt, whether it's George Fant, whether it's Reese Odiambo, whether it's Justin Britt, even at center, playing 1 entire year and actually going into the season as the projected starter at center.
This is how absurd things are. This is how absurd things are. Is that what we're hanging our hats on as fans is like
we're going into year 2.
Look at this, man! Like one dude played a position for an entire year, like a whole one, and didn't move at all. He's gonna, great. Okay, that's nice. That's how it should be. Now, the rest of the line going to get shuffled. I really thought Glowinski would end up sticking at left guard, but being that he played in college at right guard for the most part, they feel like it's going to be a better situation for him playing on the right side. So I guess let's shuffle that up. And then the rest of it, they're throwing darts at the wall, man. I mean, basically, Cable said in his interview today, he's like, we'll let Ifedi and Posick battle it out at right tackle, and whoever loses isn't exactly out of starting job. We just move him somewhere else. Cool. This is another guy just to move around. Look, Ifedi ought to be the starting right tackle. Posick ought to be able to start somewhere. Just put him where he's going to start instead of wasting 2 weeks or 3 weeks or, however long, trading him up at right tackle just so we can have that so precious versatility. Well, our guys are versatile. They suck at everything. They're good at doing it at every single spot.
It's hard to project, though, where guys are going to be.
Yeah, no catfish.
But one of these guys, and maybe two, that started on the offensive line are going to be backups or gone.
Yeah.
So
Gary Gilliam.
Well, Gary Gilliam's already gone.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm still talking. There's still George Fant and there's Mark Glowinski.
Yeah.
Glowinski is kind of looking like, I mean, if Posick, if you hear Tom Cable saying that about Posick competing at right tackle, and they want to keep him on the right side of the line, and you suspect that Justin Britt is going to be able to hold on to his starting job, really the only spot for Posick, second round draft pick, the number 2 guy overall that you drafted, it's right guard is going to be his spot.
Sure.
Then maybe Glowinski moves back over to the left side, competes with Odiombo.
Posick could always make Joey Hunt expendable, and he could be your backup center. Like, he could always end up just being there.
That's why he's 2.5 guys.
2.5. Yeah, 2.5.
Just like 2.5 guys.
Yeah. I still don't understand how you could be half a dude on the offensive line.
Don't you?
Not really. But I mean, I guess if you have to ask George Fant. He was half a dude on the offensive line.
It's low, dude.
Well, so was his play.
That's low.
Yeah.
George Fant.
Yeah.
In year 2 will be fantastic.
There's a few people like Tim Moon in the Seahawks Ring of Honor, Seahawks Pod Ring of Honor.
He's driving the hype train.
Holy smokes, he is the conductor. He is absolutely the conductor. My thing, he's just 2 or 3 years away, and I don't know that he's got 2 or 3 years to figure it out.
I don't know.
But boy, Tom Cable loves him some Fant.
He might be your starting left tackle.
I will stab myself in the left eye.
Listen, while we're setting expectations for fans, I think we need to leave open that possibility that George Fant's the starting left tackle.
I just threw up a little bit in my own mouth.
I'm just saying, setting expectations appropriately.
Yeah, that's true. Can we not think about that? I thought we were going to talk about happy things.
Watching you squirm a little bit makes me happy sometimes.
Oh, gosh. Oh, it's just terrible. Watching me squirm, I bet you Ciara's like, about ready to have a heart attack when she hears things like that. That's the father of her newborn baby, and he's going to die. He's going to die because George Fant starts at left tackle.
Here's the thing.
Dead quarterback. Muerto.
What kind of offensive line did the Raiders have last season? One of the best in the league.
Sure.
And what happened to Derek Carr?
He didn't die.
It was
still breathing.
Still breathing.
Yeah.
Well, Fant didn't get Russell Wilson killed last year.
Yeah, because Russell Wilson's a freak of nature.
And Russell was hurt most of the year.
Yeah.
So with a healthy Russell Wilson.
Right. Yeah. He'll be healthy as long as he's not getting creamed back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get creamed back there, get unhealthy.
And Jamarcus Webb. And Jamarcus Webb was the guy who got Russell Wilson hurt last year.
Oh, it's just him, huh?
I put the blame solely on him because now he's off the team.
Okay.
I can squarely pin it on Jamarcus Webb.
Okay. Well, Tom Cable called and he wants a little of that blame.
No, he doesn't.
No, it's on him a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd really like to see Tom Cable care about all the CLs in Russell's knees.
As much as you do.
Yeah, definitely. I love his CLs. I want them all to be intact forever.
Forever.
Yes.
Continuing on the theme of the draft, in this draft class, of all the guys who are going to make the Hall of Fame, who's going to be the first ballot Hall of Famer?
Right. I think it's going to be Tedrick Thompson.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything to really, other than he graded out via Pro Football Focus as the best coverage guy in all of college football last season.
Yeah. He was actually ranked in the top 10 of mid-round draft steals.
Right.
So happy to see that.
Yeah. And I think he's very versatile. I understand that he's going to be playing behind Earl. So it's going to be difficult for him to see the field in some ways, unless they go to a lot of 3 safety stuff. And then you could see him out there. To me, that screams nickel corner, right? Or that big nickel situation.
Yeah.
With the ball skills that he has and being a good coverage guy. That's exactly what you want. And so I really like the young man. I loved his reaction to getting drafted. That was super cool. That really spoke to me. And the 111 number is proven to be lucky in my life. He was picked 111 in the draft. So I'm hitching my wagon to Tedrick Thompson. He better ball out. Because Jordan Hill disappointed me.
I know. Was he number 111 too?
No.
Okay.
He just didn't.
He just disappointed.
He was just my guy from that draft. You always try to pick a guy from every draft to latch onto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Cassius Marsh was it 1 year for me. KPL was that for you 1 year.
KPL's still on the team.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got a few competition with the 63 other linebackers that we signed.
Yeah, another
That's
linebacker.
not hyperbole either.
No. The Seahawks also carrying 11 running backs on the team.
Sure.
I have to think in terms of linebackers, that's probably pretty similar. Although,
Hey, Brandon, can any of them play tackle?
Ha 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 ha. I thought we got all those out on 2 shows ago.
Oh, we can't ironically make the joke anymore?
I don't know. No, maybe not.
Oh, all right. Well, that's it. Then that was out. That was your last one, people.
That was
Hope
your
you
last.
enjoyed or didn't. I don't give a shit. Catfish! I guess we'll see. This training camp will be super interesting just from the sheer volume of guys they brought in at a few different positions.
And there's already guys leaving. You know, Parrish Cox, a guy they brought in. He's off the team now.
Sees you. I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point of the year, you're going to see guys coming and going. I mean, Jake Heaps is back on the team at quarterback, too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, keep getting them checks, Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for him.
In addition to the Mad Bomber, Skylar Howard out of West Virginia.
Yeah. I need to look him up. But
I need to know from you if he can play or not.
Okay.
I did watch some of his tape.
Yeah.
The one takeaway for me.
Yeah.
He's too short to play quarterback.
Wow. Okay.
5'11". That's too short.
Too short.
Got to be at least 6 foot to play quarterback in the NFL.
Too short.
At least 6 foot.
With a name like Skylar, that's a good quarterback name. You're chucking it into the sky all the time.
I like the Mad Bomber. He does throw an awesome deep
You
ball.
cannot be the Mad Bomber. That's already been taken.
By who?
George Blanda.
Oh. Yeah, I guess.
I think it was George Blanda. Crap. I don't know. But there has been a Mad Bomber quarterback.
Kenny Easley had the enforcer.
Right.
And Cam Chancellor, the new enforcer.
He's not the enforcer, though. Nobody calls him the enforcer. They call him Bam Bam Cam. It's his own deal.
He goes by his Twitter handle is the enforcer.
Right, but he's not the enforcer. He's Bam Bam Cam. He's got Bam Bam tattooed on his shoulder.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's co-opting it. Just as Skylar Howard, as a backup quarterback for the Seahawks, could easily co-opt the Mad Bomber.
No, you don't co-opt nicknames. It's like Dwight Howard, Daryl LaMonica. That was the Mad Bomber. He's a Raider.
I have no idea who that is.
Oh, he's an old AFL quarterback.
For the Raiders?
You've never heard of Daryl LaMonica?
No.
I'm pretty sure he played for the Raiders at one point.
That might explain.
Played for the Bills, Raiders, and the Southern California Sun.
He's such a mad bomber that he played for the Sun.
Look, I didn't give him the nickname. All right, like you can't co-opt the same nickname as somebody else. It doesn't work. It never works. It's a bad idea. Like when Dwight Howard took Superman from Shaq, that was a bad move.
That was a bad idea.
Yeah, there's a lot of those things, man.
But Shaq is Shaq.
Yeah, I know, but
nobody knows who you're talking about. Nobody. Literally,
he's a 2-time Pro Bowler.
If you're listening to this podcast,
3-time AFL champion.
You have no idea who this is.
I had heard of Daryl LaMonica, clearly.
Yeah, and you're the only one, and you're not listening. You're actually speaking into the microphone.
Yeah, well, there's somebody else out
to
there.
The person on the other end of this podcast who is listening right now.
Me too. You need to write in and
not know
exonerate me and say, I've heard of Daryl LaMonica, because you have. If you know anything about your NFL history, the Mad Bomber, Daryl LaMonica. If Skylar cannot be the Mad Bomber too.
Well, he's got to get playing time to be the Mad Bomber in the NFL.
Well, he's going to need...
And that's not going to happen.
Because he's what? Too short.
Too short to play in the NFL.
Right.
You know who's not too short? My player. So my player from this draft class.
Right.
I'm between Shaq Griffin and Nazir Jones.
Okay. It doesn't surprise me that you couldn't quite make a decision on
quite
one
make
of
a
the
decision.
two
I'm on the
guys.
fence. I'm throwing it out there to take a cue from you.
Right.
Which side of the fence I go on.
Well, it depends on, at that point, you got to take the guy that plays a position that you enjoy more than the other position. We all have different positions on the field that we like. Jared loves watching safeties.
Yeah.
Like I do. I love watching center play. I love watching.
But as much as I like watching defensive line,
right,
I don't like watching run stopping defensive linemen. Like I didn't get super excited about watching.
Do you enjoy corners more than D tackles?
The guy I'm going with is, and I guess it's not Shaq Griffin, it's Keel Griffin.
It's okay. So you're going with Nazir Griffin.
Combine the two into one player.
Right. That'd be sweet. That sounds like a Madden hybrid.
It would be.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Nazir with the speed of Griffin?
A lot of NFL scouts could.
You can't decide whether or not you're going to put him on the defensive line or set him out and cover him wide on, like.
Well, if he was 2.5 people like Posick, he could do it all.
That's true. And blitz the quarterback.
All right. So who'd you choose?
I'm going with Griffin.
Good for you. Way to be a decider. Very impressed.
I think Jeremy Lane is going to be your week 1 starter opposite Richard Sherman.
Do you?
I think he's going to be the outside guy to start.
That's bold. A lot of people want him off the team.
We've talked about this before.
I know. I think he's going to have a rebound year too, but but a lot of people would just highly disagree with it. That's why I said it was bold.
Well, a lot of people want...
Trying to give you credit for being bold.
Thanks.
Take the credit.
I'll take the credit.
Okay.
People want Jermaine Kearse off the team. They're already projecting Mara Darbo to take a spot. So
yeah, that's wrong.
I'm excited. I like Jermaine Kearse. I like Jeremy Lane.
I know.
They had down years. You can't always be awesome.
Right. That's why you're bold.
Well, okay. I'm being bold, but I'll also say I like the idea of Shaq Griffin or Keel Griffin. It's going to be hard to...
Dude, whatever. Shaquille. You can't change it midstream. Shaquille.
He goes by Keel.
Yeah, like, did he just decide that, like, now?
Like, that's what people call him.
Like, for how long?
I don't know.
Because then how come all the scouting reports, everything was Shaq?
I think that's the default.
Fine. To me, to him, it's sorry.
How did Stephen Hauschka's name end up being with a V instead of a PH?
Phonetics. That's how that happens. No, I fine. He's Shaquille from here on out.
Shaquille Griffin.
Yeah, he gets the full name.
He'll go full government. We'll find out his middle name.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like Russell Carrington Wilson.
Pulling it up right now because this is important.
All right. Well, this is important. He would want you to know.
Any guesses on what his middle name might be?
Frederick.
Shaquille Frederick Griffin.
Yeah. If you go with a Shaquille as like the first name, you got to go something like Tom for the middle name. You got to go the opposite direction.
I want it to be something that rhymes.
Shaquille Malto-Meal Griffin. Like what? What rhymes with Shaquille?
I was throwing What's your deal? Just throwing it out to you. He clearly has no middle name.
That's weird. Who doesn't have a middle name?
Just says Shaquille Griffin.
He's going to get real confused with all of the other Shaquille Griffins out there.
I bet you there is a listener listening to the show right now that if Shaquille Griffin has a middle name, they know it more so than that quarterback that you just brought up. That they've already forgotten what that.
I promise you, there are more people that know who Daryl LaMonica is than the middle name for a third round draft pick.
I don't know, but this is a Seahawks future Hall of Famer Seahawks third round draft.
Future Hall of Famers, Brandon.
When they put his plaque,
it'll be shorter than everybody else's because he apparently doesn't have one. But I admire your pick because he does have all the tools.
But what I would expect from him is, take 6 or 7 games and be ready to plug in. Now, the interesting thing is would you see enough from him in practice and in preseason that once it's time for Deshaun Shedd to return, is Griffin going to be the guy?
We got to get through all the preseason and everything first. I'll let you know after I see him play. Like, I don't know.
He's already in the Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah, duh. We're talking about expectations. I expect him to get that done. All right. Well, I do like your pick there. I do think he has a strong chance to impact the team just because of all of the physical and attributes and the measurables that he has. It's really exciting, and especially when you put him with Pete Carroll's coaching style and Chris Richard's coaching style, the way they teach that kick step and the way that they bring DBs along. You got to believe that the sky's the limit for that guy.
Well, especially when looking back historically, what Carroll is, like you mentioned, what he's been able to get out of these guys, the fact that Walter Thurmond was the highest drafted corner in the Pete Carroll era.
Right.
And now you have the highest drafted corner. That's why my expectations are so high. This is the highest drafted cornerback
There you go.
of the Pete Carroll era.
There you go.
He better be better than Sherman.
It could be. Because, I mean, I don't know if you saw the headlines, but the Seahawks are drafting for life without Richard Sherman.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
We can't get over this, can we?
Yeah, it's still going down every day.
It's not going to go away.
It's never going to go away. How many? I mean, it's the golden goose of catfish media stories like that. Just write a headline about Sherman not being there. Story writes itself. Done and done. Turn it into editor. Go home and drink your beer and go to bed. That's what they're doing. Just lazy.
Very, very lazy.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of lazy.
Yeah. How I approach this podcast.
We need to start. And how we approach this podcast.
No, me. You do an awesome job. I'm lazy as all hell.
Well, we need to start getting feedback from our listeners of what we're going to cover over the next couple months of the off season, because we've talked about, last year.
Yeah. If you don't, all you're going to hear is me talk about how much I hate George Fant at left tackle.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah. So get it in, people.
I think we've heard enough of it.
Have we?
Yeah, we have.
People don't seem to get the point.
No, I think they do.
They just disagree.
I think that's why Tim Moon's coming so strong.
I don't think they hear me.
It's like hearing Jimmy.
Yeah, I think, yeah. What is it? Hearing and listening? Isn't it? Yeah, I don't know which one's more important, supposedly.
Hearing.
No, I think it's listening.
No. Hearing.
See, it's the same catfish word.
You can listen to Jimmy, but can you hear Jimmy?
You can hear Jimmy, but are you listening?
No.
See, it goes both ways.
Have you seen White Men Can't Jump when they're talking about Jimi Hendrix, when Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes
I'm
talking about hearing Jimmy?
I've long since forgotten any quotable things from White Man Can't Jump.
You're missing out, dude.
I just have other quotables that I got to make room for, you know?
What were we even talking about?
Listener ideas for the podcast and how they need to get them in so they don't have to hear about our little pet peeves for the next 2 months.
Well, one piece of listener feedback that we did get was the idea of putting together the inaugural Seahawkers podcast, All-Seahawks Team.
Right.
And this is something that I really am looking forward to doing, because last year we ran down the list of top 15 former Seahawks every fan should know. That's up at SeahawkersPodcast.com/top15. If you want to go back and check out all those shows. Yeah. We single-handedly got Kenny Easley elected to the Hall of Fame by listing him as the number one former Seahawk player you should know.
The enforcers welcome.
After we did that, he made the Hall of Fame. Yeah. That's the only logical correlation I can make.
The Seahawkers podcast bounce.
Yeah. And so this year, we're looking for your feedback in coming up with the All-Seahawks team. We'll look at the top players on offense, on defense, on special teams. I've narrowed it down to the top guys at each position.
So how do you think all 11 guys in this draft are going to fare on this list?
Well,
because they're already Hall of Famers.
They are.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they did not qualify.
Wah-wah.
The qualifications I came up with for this year is they had to at least have 5 years as a Seahawk to make the All-Seahawks team.
Okay.
Because I want guys who are Seahawks. Like, I look at that guy and go, that dude is a Seahawk through and through.
Right.
And there are a couple guys that are kind of iffy on this list, but part of that's because, with Joey Galloway, like, he'd make a good kick returner or a punt returner. Like, he did that.
Yeah. He's probably...
I wouldn't want him as my Seahawks wide receiver, but he could maybe make the team.
He's in the conversation. He's in the conversation for wide receivers.
No, he's not, because he's not on my wide receiver draft selection list.
Yeah, I know, because you made rules.
I'm prejudiced against Joey Galloway.
Apparently. Geez.
He does not deserve to compete with the likes of Blue Angel, Steve Largent. Or
there's more than one receiver that starts.
Yeah, well, there's also Darrell Jackson. There's also Doug Baldwin.
Sure.
There's also Bobby Ingram.
Okay.
Tell me Joey Galloway is better than any of those guys.
No, I just say he belongs in the conversation.
You know who else belongs in the conversation?
Your mom?
Jermaine Kearse.
Joey Galloway was,
Joey Galloway off the list. Jermaine Kearse on the list.
You're talking about big plays,
Also, Joey Galloway never came on this podcast.
That's a good point. Jermaine Kearse
did.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Dave Wyman.
Yeah, screw Joey Galloway.
Dave Wyman came on this podcast.
Yeah.
He's among the linebackers.
Yeah. Yeah. So Warren Moon is obviously in the quarterback discussion.
No, he didn't play 5 years for the Seahawks.
But he came on the podcast.
He did. I have to draw the line at somewhere.
Wow. Okay.
Joe Tafoya did not make the list. He played 2 years for the Seahawks, just like Warren Moon. Sure. If I let Warren Moon on, I have to let Joe Tafoya on.
Yeah, that's not cool. So, and I like Joe.
There's a lot of dudes on the defensive line.
Yeah.
And Warren Moon, is he going to beat out Matt Hasselbeck? Is he going to beat out Dave Craig? Is he going to even beat out Jim Zorn?
Is he going to beat out Russell Wilson?
Is anybody going to beat out Russell Wilson? Probably not.
Boy, depends on how you look at things. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Russell Wilson does have 5 years in a Seahawks uniform.
And he's got a chip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's made as many Pro Bowls as Matt Hasselbeck and Dave Craig. Both of those guys 3-time Pro Bowlers.
Well, now you're skewing the list.
Am I?
Yeah, you're giving the listeners your opinion, man. That's like your opinion, man. See, I've got
you've got the Big Lebowski quotes.
There you go. See, I have room for more quotes. Other movies.
But I think the main thing to know is when you look at the list and you see guys and you wonder, well, why didn't a guy make this squad that should be there? He probably didn't have 5 years with the team.
No, the answer is probably that Brandon is prejudiced against Joey Galloway.
And I'm prejudiced against Joey Galloway.
Right.
I really want...
You know what? You obviously don't feel the need for speed because that was Joey Galloway.
He had some of his best
Top Gun quote. How many more movie quotes do you want to make up for the fact that I couldn't remember your white man can't jump quote? This is the off season, folks. This is what you get.
Welcome to the off season.
Yes.
So we'll be posting the link up on the Facebook page at facebook.com/Seahawkers podcast. Check the show notes. We'll have a link for you there to vote for the Seahawkers podcast, All-Seahawks Team. Mm-hmm. And we'll be, as we get those votes in, we're going to be bringing those guys to you throughout the off season, reminding you of some of those players, because we know you guys aren't just going to choose the players from these recent years. No, you're going to make educated decisions on who you really want to fill out this all Seahawks team.
Yeah, I really trust the average American to make educated decisions.
This is not average. Average American, maybe.
Yeah.
Average Seahawks fan.
Your average 12 is a different deal.
Higher caliber.
Okay. That's a true fact. They are cut above.
They are above average.
That's true. Well, that's interesting. And I think if you have somebody strongly that you feel needs to be on the list, like that are in the rankings, right? And you feel like he has to win and you need a lobby for somebody, feel free to write into the show. We'll plead your case to the rest of the listeners for you. Or you'll plead your case. We'll read it off for you. Or you could call in and leave a message and plead your own case.
Yeah, 253-235-9041. Email at gohawks@seahawkerspodcast.com.
So get in on the all-time Seahawks team and then also get in with your show suggestions.
Well, speaking of dudes that inherently are lazy when it comes to journalism.
Sure.
I think it might be a time to take a trip to Prisco's world.
Yeah!
La 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 la, la 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 la, Prisco's world. La 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 la, la 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 la, Prisco's world. Prisco has his hot tastes and nothing more. That's Prisco's world.
Well, here's the problem.
Yeah.
Now that we're here,
Yeah.
I'm kind.
It feels different. Did something happen? What happened here?
I'm looking around, and Prisco's world looks a lot different than I remember.
Okay, because I feel like I'm like a Star Trek character that like beamed back to a planet that they'd previously visited, and like it's completely used to be like a barren landscape of hell, and now like it's like there's life and like green things.
Last time we were here, it felt a lot darker.
Things are different now.
But now, like the windows are open, you can smell the freshly cut grass outside.
Very confused.
There's a variety of soaps and shampoos that smell of lavender.
Did our ship get lost on the way to Prisco's world? Like, what happened?
What happened to Prisco's world? Seriously, when was the last time we were even here?
I don't know. It's been a while. That's why I'm shocked at the change.
Because seemingly Pete Prisco now has positive takes about the Seahawks and looks more and more favorably upon this team.
It does not compute.
Does not compute.
I don't know what to do with this.
There was an article in the past week or so about the idea that the Seahawks maybe were considering drafting a quarterback late in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
That if Patrick Mahomes would have been on the board. Now, Mahomes was gone by number 10 to the Chiefs. The Chiefs traded up from 27 to go get Patrick Mahomes at number 10. If Mahomes would have been there at number 26, that the Seahawks would have actually drafted him. That, in my mind, it did not ring true.
Right. That might be one of the dumber headlines I've ever read in my life. If Patrick Mahomes had fallen to the Seahawks, which he wasn't going to under any circumstance in this draft, then they might have considered it.
Not might have. They would have really, really considered it, according to at Rap Sheet Ian Rappaport.
Dude, that sucks, man. That's some crap journalism. If this might have happened, they really, really would have considered it.
So what happens? We're wondering how Prisco fits into this.
Yeah.
His tweet is, what? Mike Garafolo jumps on board to tweet at Pete Prisco in all caps, says, if Patrick Mahomes was there for the Seahawks in late one, they would have really, really considered it. Prisco says, I don't need your stupid caps to see stupidity.
Zing! All right. That actually makes sense.
He says, A, it's stupid if it's true. 2, why? Wilson is damn good.
What? Wait, what? Whoa. My mind it just blown. Did he just say what? Can you repeat that?
He said he's damn good.
Not goddamned or like he didn't. Damn good.
He's damn good. He did qualify it, but saying just not great. But now he's gone from not good, not great.
Right.
Damn good, not great.
Damn good. Knocking on that little glass ceiling for all those too short quarterbacks.
For all the too short quarterbacks. He's right there.
Below it.
He's on the cusp. Is there now? We've talked a lot about the semantics of good and great and mediocre and elite.
I thought we did a great job of doing it.
We did an outstanding job.
Ooh, I'd say even an elite level coverage of it.
It's an elite level podcast. How could it be any lower than that?
Sure it is.
So is there any room between damn good and great?
Really damn good? I think he goes Rappaport, just starts putting
really?
Yeah, just starts putting reallys in front of it. I think that's, yeah.
I think we're making progress.
Decidedly damn good. Decidedly damn good? Does that work? He's got another season though, because he can run for a season with damn good.
Yeah. After this year, I'm projecting he will have no choice but to put Russell Wilson in the great category.
Or will he make up a new category like great except?
Great for a short guy.
Like he'll get that caveat after the great. So he'll start saying great, but then put the caveat in.
Great if he finishes off his career at the same pace.
Right. Yeah. If he picks up the pace even maybe a little more or something. He'll put something to, make him at the bottom end of the great scale.
The important thing is we're making progress.
We are. And also, I want to give him a hug.
I do too, because there was another
doing good, buddy.
There's another area of Prisco's world to revisit, and okay. I'm not even going to focus on the fact he wasn't giving out draft grades based on how well a team drafted, but instead he was giving out grades pick by pick in each round of the draft. No, that's not the point.
Ooh,
nobody does pick by pick grades. That's borderline ridiculous,
asinine. Yeah,
but. The important thing, Malik McDowell, defensive tackle, Michigan State, gets a grade A from Pete Prisco and says this is another really good pick early in the round. He has top 10 talent, but there are some effort questions. Right team here.
Ooh.
A for the Seahawks. For picking Malik McDowell from Prisco.
Pete's getting it figured out. Good job, buddy. I'm real happy for him.
I am too. I feel like I'm almost rooting for him now.
I might even accept somebody from Prisco's World's passport now to come and visit.
You'd still have to get clearance.
That's fine. I mean, because you'd technically be like a real alien at that point.
Yeah.
Like from a whole nother world. But
and he might have to go through additional screening precautions to enter into the country.
Universal extreme vetting at that point. Because it's come from another place in the universe.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'd consider it now. He's making real progress.
I know. This is fun.
Yeah. But I fear by giving him credit now, he could regress. I almost feel like we have to be it's really good that you started to get on board with some of these things when it comes to the Seahawks, but it's not great.
Well, here's the thing. Nobody who is listening right now is going to tell him. It can be our...
I know a lot of 12s like to get on the Twitter machine.
They do.
Yeah.
But they need to, for the sake of seeing where this plays out.
Oh, so you don't want to spoil the experiment?
No.
You don't want to contaminate it?
No. This better not get out to Pete.
Everybody keep this under wraps.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, real quick. I want to talk about Pristine Auction, Adam. Pristine. And we've been talking Pristine Auction for a few shows now. And it's been cool to see some of the photos people have tweeted at us. The Cliff Averill signed helmet.
Few different things that people have gotten. I ended up with the signed Largent jersey that I get to put up here in the podcast room, man. I am super stoked about that. Quality is really off the charts. I'm really excited about that.
And affordable stuff too. It was within our Seahawkers podcast budget.
Right. It's appropriately priced for thousandaires like you and me.
You don't even have to be a thousandaire.
No, you can be 100aire and still get it done.
Go to Seahawkerspodcast.com/auction and it'll take you right to Pristine Auction's site with all the Seahawks related items and just running down the list. This is pretty cool because they've got daily auctions going today. And by the time you get this podcast, you're going to miss out on this. So if you're not going there every day, you will have missed out on this.
Yeah.
They have Seahawks Steve Largent signed limited edition full-size authentic Pro Line helmets. And this is a limited edition out of 80. They're only doing 80 of these. And right now, one of these is up to just under $300 for an official helmet.
That'd be sweet.
There's another one here. It's at $157 right now. It finishes today. Seahawkerspodcast.com/auction. Be sure and visit every day to check out and see what they have, because if you don't, you might miss out on some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. Not might. You will.
You will. All right, let's take a break. We will come back. We will give some welcome to the flock announcements to folks. We got some reviews. We got some emails. And of course, do better at life. Getting into the second half of the show, as we close this out, we got a couple news items that we still have left over. We got some do better. We got some better at life.
Yeah. Speaking of those news items, I found out the middle name that we were looking for.
You did?
Yeah. Daryl LaMonica's middle name is Pat.
Daryl Pat LaMonica.
Yeah. Doesn't this roll?
No.
Right off the
not
tongue?
at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
It's kind of like Keel Griffin.
Like Daryl Lemieux LaMonica.
Lemieux.
I feel like it should be French.
And you'd get an X in your new name. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm all for that. There was a way to change Adam Emmert to have an X in it. I'd do it without having to star in porn.
Adam Xavier Emmert.
Yeah. My dad wouldn't be stoked with that.
No?
No, because his middle name and my middle name are the same middle name.
Oh.
It's not Xavier.
I just thought you'd be named after Charles Xavier from the X-Men.
Yeah, you would think so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a great visionary and somebody who can control things with his mind. You think that's who I'd be named after. There's some other news items, though, that aren't quite
Are we
funny.
back? Did we come back?
Oh, yeah. We could cut that out. Go ahead.
One thing that I did see that was kind of interesting, we had the idea that Marshawn Lynch and his salary coming back to play for the Raiders.
Right.
Yes, we're going back to Marshawn Lynch.
Okay.
More Marshawn Lynch.
How long are you going to delay talking about Jaron Reed? That's my question.
There's nothing to talk about. So let's talk about Lynch first.
Okay.
He can make up to $8.9 million this year from the Raiders.
Woo! To earn that, does he somehow have to resurrect the corpse of Al Davis?
Just about, because I think they do have to win the Super Bowl and he has to be the Super Bowl MVP. So I mean,
wow.
But there's a lot of escalators in there for how many yards he can get.
Yeah.
If he has a good, solid Marshawn Lynch year, it's going to be a good year from him. But even if he doesn't, it's going to be a good year for him, because built into the contract, apparently, he has the ability to merchandise, to have some of his beast mode clothing line for sale at the stadium throughout the season.
Wow, that's solid. Look, so one of the things that I failed to take into account when I felt like it was watching an ex-girlfriend move on when I saw Marshawn Lynch get excited was the fact that ex-girlfriend would then be getting paid a massive amount of money to hang out with that guy. And suddenly I don't feel nearly as bad about it.
No?
No.
What about if he is
$8.9 million in your merchandise gets featured?
I'm forgetting who the girlfriend is. Is that the Raiders in this scenario?
No, the new dude is the Raiders.
Marshawn is our
get
girlfriend.
Your analogies right. Yeah, Marshawn is your ex-girlfriend. And he's left you for another team.
So
this isn't a complicated analogy.
I want to get this right because your ex-girlfriend is going to be printing out T-shirts with her new boyfriend's logo on it.
No, that's still her logo.
But merging it with the colors of her new boyfriend.
Yeah, it doesn't seem quite as bad.
No.
And she's getting paid to do it. Like she's only doing it because she likes him more. Not because she likes him more, but because he's paying her.
So it's like a sugar daddy for a couple of years.
Exactly. So
and
now my self-esteem is right back where it needs to be. Rashawn still thinks I'm pretty.
I'm glad we made that connection. News about Jaron Reed. It's like I mentioned, it's pretty limited, but he is under investigation by the Bellevue police for domestic violence.
Right.
Or
been accused
of some sort of assault.
Right. And that's pretty much that. That's really what we know.
Right.
So much in the case when Colin Kaepernick was accused of sexual assault a few years back when he was down in Miami, and I was one of the few people to come out and be like, "Hey,
nothing's happened yet.
We
don't know anything,
and it's innocent until proven guilty." Same applies here.
Remember when Marshawn Lynch was accused of punching a woman in, I think it was Bellevue.
Correct.
And it turned out that it was some other dude, not even Marshawn Lynch.
Right.
Like she just didn't know what Marshawn Lynch looked like.
Right.
Just like the woman that went up to Larry Fitzgerald at the Richard Sherman benefit thing.
Right.
And thought that Larry Fitzgerald was Richard Sherman.
Right. It's just like that reporter down in Texas that interviewed Adrian Peterson had no idea who he was for the whole interview. Thought it was just a dude on the street.
Yeah.
If you walk up to a guy that looks like Adrian Peterson and you think he's just a dude on the street, I want to know where the hell you live. Because if I'm a scout, I'm going there every single day. If every guy's yoked like Adrian Peterson, that's where I want to go because it's just talent.
Yeah. Or it could be like when I got on the train down in the Bay Area Super Bowl week for Super Bowl 50, and I couldn't decide if it was Tiki Barber or Rondé Barber.
Yeah, biological twins, you get an excuse on that.
Everybody gets a pass on that?
Everybody gets a pass on that. The only people that don't get a pass are girlfriends, wives, and your mom. Those are the only people that don't get passes on that.
Because I wanted to say something, but I didn't know whether to say...
Say, what's up, Barber?
Mr. Barber. That's what I should have done. I should have just gone with Mr. Barber.
Yeah. You put yourself through all that consternation for nothing.
I'm like, is that Tiki? Is that Rondé? I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was Tiki. Like if I were gonna pick, I
think Tiki has a bigger head.
I also think that he's a little bit more stout.
Little squatter in build.
Yeah, just
a little thicker.
Little thicker.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Running back versus DB.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point.
It's risky.
It is risky. So it's like never commenting on a woman that you think is pregnant. It's risky. Right. You wait till they divide.
That is a risk you do not
even
take.
if they're like clearly 9 months pregnant or whatever, and you don't know them personally and you don't know for sure, you don't say catfish.
But like if Rondé got like a face tattoo like Mike Tyson.
Right.
It would be okay then.
You look him right in the eyes and pretend it's not there. It's the same approach you take when you meet Mike Tyson. Not Seahawks Mike Tyson, but crazy Mike Tyson.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to be able to tell those two guys apart.
I think there's a strong chance.
Our Mike Tyson does not have a face tattoo.
Correct.
Yet.
I don't think that's something he needs to aspire to.
Let's get to some welcome to the flock. Oh, before we announce our new members of the flock, I just have to say I'm looking forward to going to the sold out Seahawkers banquet.
Yes.
In Bellevue.
Look, there's a lot of cool things going on with that event. And
when Marcus Trufant is the MC, I mean, he you get kind of excited.
How's G. Scott feel about that? He got bumped.
He got bumped for, future Hall of Famer.
True. Yeah.
Or at least Ring of Honor member.
Hey, man. True.
All-time Seahawks player for sure.
Oh, true. True font. True.
I know.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay. I don't only have so many dad jokes per episode, okay?
I can tell they're wearing thin.
This offseason is wearing thin.
When people want weekly or nearly weekly shows.
Right.
This is what they get.
This is what you get. You're welcome.
You asked for it.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thanks for getting in the flock, by the way.
Welcome to the flock, by the way. Speaking of which, I feel like we need to invent like a new term for what Rebecca Christensen did for us this last week, because I don't know if we call her like blue leader, green leader.
I want Grand Poobah. I
feel like that's used in some other case, like the Flintstones.
Yeah. It's an homage to the Flintstones. It gets better than that.
I don't want to be jacking the Flintstone swag.
They didn't have shoes. I don't know how much swag they have. You know what I mean?
Just saying. I'm not a swagger jacker.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
And I feel like Grand Poobah would be doing that. So we need to come up with something unique.
Okay.
Unique New York. Unique New York.
Aluminum linoleum.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
Well done. Well played, Brandon.
Anchorman.
Yes, I know.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I knew those movie quotes too. The only ones I don't know is White Man Can't Jump. I don't know if we went over that.
Went back too far, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Although you went back to Top Gun, so.
Yeah.
But yes. Becca.
She's amazing.
Becca was amazing. She sent in a check to cover the cost of Adam's travel microphone. And so I'm going to say until we come up, I want to solicit people's opinions on this. I'm going blue leader.
I really only think there's one person's opinion that matters on this.
It's Becca's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we did give her the opportunity to name your travel microphone. And this is something that she actually passed off to listeners, because I want you to, whenever you're on the road.
Oh, please, God, make it a euphemism, people. Come on.
I want you to have some kind of reference for your new microphone.
For Becca's present for me?
Yes.
Okay.
And she's throwing it out to the flock.
She did this to her by not taking the opportunity to name it herself.
Well, she's going to take the opportunity to take in what people have to say.
Yes.
And then she's going to choose from there.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That works.
So she wants to hear, if you have a name for Adam's microphone, for the travel microphone, that he has to reference every time he's on travel.
Right. And it's small, by the way. It just plugs into my phone.
It's very small.
It's it's very small.
It's very petite.
Maybe like an inch.
So there's some, just to give you an idea.
Yeah, just some material. Just some facts about the travel mic.
And it sounds smooth.
Silky. Smooth.
So send in your ideas to gohawks@seahawkerspodcast.com.
What could go wrong?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Becca gets to pick. It's her choice.
Exactly. Everybody wins in this endeavor, I think.
She will name it from there. So a huge thanks to her.
Gigantic thank you.
And so she went to seahawkerspodcast.com/support. And I have the mailing address there. I know I had another email in this last week asking where to, if you want to send in a check, if you want to join the flock, it's easy just to go to seahawkerspodcast.com/support. All the information's there.
You bet.
On how you can help support the show. And we had 3 more people joining the flock this week. So welcome to the flock to Russ Morse. He's going to be invited to join our patron-only Pick'em League. And a welcome to the flock to Jeffrey Wilson, in for sticker and bonus shows. And also a welcome to the flock to Brandon Flory. Brandon, awesome first name, even though he spells it wrong. Welcome to the flock.
I like the way he spells his name.
I'm not against it.
It has vowel variety.
That's true.
Yeah.
An A and an O.
That's what I'm saying. So Brandon, don't let him get down on you, Brandon, because you have the right Brandon.
Getting into some reviews, we got a review this week, and actually this is an updated review from P. Hobb.
Holy smokes! Okay,
he says he's changing my meh.
Oh,
and I think
that was the 3. Yeah, I know.
I think we need to give listeners though a little bit of background on this, because a couple years ago, we were noticing that we had
a lot of really great reviews.
A lot of great reviews, but
no 3 stars.
A couple negative reviews, but no 3-star reviews.
No 3 stars.
And so we threw it out there. We said, we put the challenge out there.
Yeah. I think we even said you should entitle it meh.
Yeah. So P. Hobb, he says, changing my meh. A couple years ago, I gave 3 stars and a meh review as a joke. I realized I never went back and changed it to the deserved 5 stars. My apologies.
No apology necessary. If you've stuck with us for a number of years now and then went back and changed it, like, that's true commitment.
It is. And we still have Russ M and AK Rhino covering us on the 3-star reviews. So they're still there.
Right. Awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate you going back and doing that.
Also appreciate Zach Shives from Bridgeport, Texas. Emailed in, said, I was feeling a little bored the other day and was really missing Seahawks football.
Understand.
So I did what any good fan should do in these times, and I listened to your Super Bowl 48 victory podcast again. Wow. All the feelings rushed back as I remembered what it was like to be world champions. I still tell people we are anyways.
You and who was that announced at the draft? They were like, the world champion New York Giants. And it's like, you haven't won one for a while now, guys.
Hey, it's like when you win the Masters, you still get announced as
it's not like
Masters champion.
It's not like that.
I think it is. Zach continues on, says, but then I got a little sad because we haven't won a Super Bowl since then.
I understand.
We also suffered in Super Bowl 49, watching us throw to, well, never mind. I'm not going to go there. But after listening to the podcast, in particular, the Better at Life section, I know how we can guarantee us another Super Bowl victory. David, that guy that Brandon sat next to in Super Bowl 48, needs to go to every game this next season like he did during the Super Bowl season. Yes, every game, home and away. We might need to do a little fundraiser for him. I'm confident that we will get another Super Bowl this season if he does. So there is only one thing left to say. And to quote Adam, we're going to the Super Bowl.
We're going to the Super Bowl. So I hope David doesn't have friends, family, loved ones, or a job, because his new job is to go to every game throughout the season so we win chips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if he did it the following season.
I don't know.
Probably not, because we didn't win.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a solid suggestion. And a solid email, too, man. Look, I get it, man. This is tough in the offseason. You got to go back and find those highs, and then hopefully you don't have to remember those lows like you ended up doing. But it was a solid suggestion. David needs to let us know if he's in.
Yes, he does. Go Hawks at Seahawkers Podcast. David, get in touch with us.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Got an email from, this was a post to our Seahawkers Podcast Ring of Honor page. And it comes from none other than Flocktimus Prime, our first member of the flock.
Yes.
Which is why he holds that title, Keith. And he has 2 questions. Says 1. And let me know if this just jumps out. If these 2 questions, just spark anything in your brain.
Okay.
1, does the signing of Brandon Cottom, fullback, mean that we are not going to re-sign Marcel Reese? And 2, what is the status of Tyler Ott?
I don't know the status of our long snapper. I honestly, I have given that zero thought, and I have no insight. That's the best I can tell you.
Keith is in deep this offseason.
He is, man. He's going way deep.
He wants to know who our starting fullback's going to be.
Right.
And the status of our long snapper who joined the team late in the season.
Yes. Can I talk about one more person that got in the flock like literally 1 minute ago while we were on the podcast?
Yes.
Craig Clifford into the flock.
Welcome to the flock, Craig.
Yes, absolutely.
It's about time. I was wondering to myself when Craig was finally going to get in the flock.
Dude, I've been pissed for like months over Craig, so I'm glad that he's got this finally figured out.
Craig,
he's better. He's better at life now.
Clearly,
yeah. So yeah, he's in to get into the Pick'em League and a sticker and all that stuff.
Nice.
So, yeah, I look forward to taking you down in the Pick'em League, Craig.
I look forward to sending you stickers, Craig.
Whatever, Craig.
And taking you down in the Pick'em League.
You didn't take down anybody in the Pick'em League.
I took you down. I beat you last year.
Yeah, but right at the end. This is like that Raiders KC thing.
Yes. David Carr broke his leg.
Kicked your ass all. Derek Carr.
One of the cars.
Yeah.
And you lost the Pick'em League.
Yeah, Carr had a bum wheel. Look, I don't know how that happened. You were so far behind.
That's true. Well, it's because I'm awesome.
Sure.
Awesome at picking games.
Yeah. What happened the first half of the year then? 3/4 of the year, 7/8 of the year.
It was like one of those
yeah, I don't know what that's like.
It was it was that kind of military strategy that they use to make you think that you're doing really well and kind of lull you into a sense.
So you were reverse psychologing me?
Yes.
Okay.
And it worked.
All right, I guess so.
because you got to thinking how awesome you were by the end of the year.
Well,
got cocky.
At the end of the day, it didn't work very well for you because I still think I won.
That's a you problem.
No, it feels good to me. All right, Brandon, who you got for your do-betters?
My do-better this week is for Stephen Cohen of the Seattle PI. Now, I know it's bad to throw a do-better out there for a dude that's come on our show and been nice enough to be a guest on our show.
Correct.
But on Stephen Cohen's podcast, he threw out this idea of the Legion of Boom 2.0.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you had a 0.0 bone to pick.
I do. And this is where it comes in. Because this might be one of the most ridiculous notions that I've seen floating out there. Almost as ridiculous as hearing some Raiders fans throwing out the idea that with the Ken Norton defense, that he's building the Legion of Boom 2.0. The problem
You can't take our Legion of Boom and you can't take our Marshawn at the same time, Raider fan.
Yeah. Well, what did I say before? We can't swagger jack the Flintstones, so the Raiders can't jack our swag on the Legion of Boom.
I think I'm with you on swagger jacking now.
Urban Dictionary term. Look it up.
I hope people do because it doesn't sound right.
Don't be a swagger jacker.
Oh, God. It's got off its rails, man. This is off season, folks. We're trying hard.
The Legion of Boom 2.0.
Right.
We've gone over this with the Beastquake 2.0. 2.0 to me, as geeky computer guy, suggests that there is some sort of improvement or there was some need to improve upon the original. And it just needs to be straight sequel. Like Ghostbusters 1, better than Ghostbusters 2. It's not called Ghostbusters 2.0.
Right. That's because it's a movie, not a program.
Right.
Okay.
And this is the Legion of Boom. It's
Right.
not a program.
Well, I don't know. We might all be living in a simulation, according to Elon Musk.
This could be the Matrix.
Yeah, for all you know. But I only respectfully disagree with you in one way on this, Brandon. Every 0.0 that comes out isn't an upgrade or an improvement. A lot of times it's a deprovement, which is not a word, but look it up. Like basically, like you can update your stuff and suddenly nothing works anymore. That printer over there doesn't work with 0.094 and like whatever. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Upgrades are nightmares.
Windows 8.
Nightmare. After listening to the show, somebody's going to start up Seahawkers Podcast 2.0 because they think they can do better.
But just know, you come at me, bro. I'll take you down.
Yeah, because they're going to be a swagger jacker if they do that.
Exactly.
Right.
New term today.
Okay. Well, I can tell you somebody that you're not in danger of having your swagger jacked by, Brandon.
Anybody who calls Legion of Boom 2.0 for this group of rookies,
Right.
do better.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, they got a ways to go yet, even though they're Hall of Famers.
To go.
Already.
And it'd still be, I don't know.
They would just, yeah, they need a new nickname. You can't be the LOB again.
No.
You'd have to come up with something new.
Something new.
And somebody will come up with something. They always do.
At what point does the Legion of Boom cease to exist? It's always been Cam, Earl.
Yeah, when you lose one of them three, then it's over.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's like the Triforce. You got to have all three.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Who's your do better?
My do better this week, Brandon, are for some Americans that seem to have the travel bug, but they can't just, go to, like say Maui or Cancun,
when you get
somewhere nice
bug,
and sunny.
You think, I've never been to Australia.
Somewhere pleasant.
I'd love to go to Australia.
Right. No, these guys, they're extreme travelers, apparently, because these tourists are going, Americans, right meow, are going to North Korea.
Literally,
headline in the New York
last
Times.
place on earth I would want to be.
Despite arrests, Americans continue to visit North Korea. What the hell are you thinking? You're not Dennis Rodman. He's not just going to let you off. Like, don't go to North Korea. Don't do meth. Don't go to North Korea. I feel like those are like easy enough things. Like, I don't know that I should have to explain that to people. But despite that, there's people still heading to North Korea. We've just had an American just recently arrested. I'm sure he's going to be sent for heavy internment labor for 5 decades or something like that. I mean, why would you go in the first place? It's a stay away. It's a good stay away.
Public service announcement from Adam Emmert this week. New campaign. Don't visit North Korea.
Right. I mean,
Bad idea.
Because if you go to North Korea, you'll stay in North Korea. It's not like Vegas where the stories just stay. In Vegas, like, you stay there forever. Like, it's done. Like, you in the stories stay in North Korea.
Yeah.
So anybody who's got travel plans to go to North Korea, especially right now with the way things are, do better.
If you do not cancel your plans, you need to do better.
Oh, man. That's just dumb.
Literally, the last place on earth I want to be.
Yeah.
What do you say we do some Better at Life?
Okay.
Well, my Better at Life this week is for Mr. Eddie Lacy. Because I don't know if you saw this, but he had his garage sale
Okay.
this last week.
Right.
And gave an opportunity to kind of, you don't want to move all your Green Bay Packers stuff with you across the country to Seattle.
No, you don't want to take that anywhere, to be honest.
You leave that stuff behind, and it gave Packers fans an opportunity to go and get some nice Packers swag.
Right.
And help a good cause.
Sure.
Because all that money, Lacey pledged that all the money from his garage sale was going to be donated to the Freedom House in Green Bay, which is a foundation that helps families in need of emergency housing and helps those families find permanent housing and employment.
That's pretty cool.
And you know me, I'm a sucker for a good story.
Mm-hmm.
And if apparently he had a ton of shoes that were out for sale, Packers merch. And apparently he went through it all. I think I saw one tweet saying that there was like a 5-piece sectional, and that's all that was left at the end. And
yeah, nobody wants sectionals.
No, but maybe somebody finally came and got it. I don't know this. I did not do that much research into know if the sectional.
You're going to find some China food fortunes like in the cushions of the sectional.
You may be able to go to the local Goodwill in Green Bay to find said sectional now, but for having the garage sale, doing it for a good cause, Eddie Lacy, better at life than Skip Bayless.
Well done, Brandon. Well done. Well, just in case you'd forgotten about the type of guy I am, right now, I'm about to be a swagger jacker because my better at life this week is also for Eddie Lacy.
What?
Yes, that's exactly right. And I understand this goes against my bet and all that, but I've always said that I hope to be wrong.
Yeah.
I hope to be wrong. And he's taking a step to prove me wrong and have me lose that bet. And he's asking all of you to get involved too. And this is the deal right here. He puts up an Instagram post, and it's a picture of a message, and it says, "I don't typically do long messages, but here goes one, LOL." That wasn't funny, but okay. To prep for my first training camp in Seattle, I'm doing a 30-day workout challenge starting June 1st. I'm committing to a workout every day of the month. No excuses! ! This is new for me. Not surprised, but I have a little extra motivation to be fully rehabbed in peak shape and ready to hit it day one of training camp.
Like 300K extra motivation.
Yeah, I think he heard there was 11 dudes that are there to play running back at camp. To help push me even more, I want you guys to join me in this challenge. Let my drive motivate you to get active. I know that the more people who join me, the more motivation I will have to work even harder. Throughout the month, I'll be sharing my progress right here. If you want to join me in my workouts, check out Beachbody On Demand. And it's something you can find online. And at first I was like, dude, he's getting paid by this Beachbody thing. Like, this is lame. 30-day workout challenge. How much are you going to have to pay for that to get on board with Eddie Lacy? 30-day free trial.
Nice.
So you can get in. You can get in. You
So
can
we
work
pay
out with
nothing.
Eddie. I'm on board to help motivate Eddie. If this helps motivate Eddie, I like that he's coming to the people and saying, look, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to get better. Here we go. Let's do this. So I don't know about you, Brandon. I'm getting in on the 30-day workout challenge here shortly. I got till June 1st to do it. And it'll help with my fat white guy body, which I think would be nice. And so for taking the effort in time and having the motivation to really take this chance seriously, to help bring other Seahawks fans along for the ride, Eddie Lacy is better at life than Skip Bayless. I'm a swagger jacker.
Jacking my swag, man. Jacking my swag. I'm good with it, though.
Yeah. All right, cool.
I'm on board with this, too.
Thank you. You're on board with the Eddie Lacy workout challenge?
Heck yeah.
Okay.
I'll do it every day of June. No excuses.
No excuses.
Maybe some excuses.
Definitely excuses.
I'll try for every day.
I'll do most days.
At least once a week.
Right. Unless I have to like do a mill job on that day, and then there'll be no workouts done that day. Trust me, I'm getting my workout in.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the it's not important.
Much like most of the show. Hey, look, I just want to say thank you to everybody for listening this week. Obviously, we got a little loopy and just kind of had some fun with it. But again, we
don't get to be in person for this stuff very often.
No, and we started the whole point of starting this podcast way back when we did. And by way back, I mean like 4 years.
That's kind of far.
Yeah, it feels far. It was just so that we could sit down and just shoot the breeze and laugh. And so appreciate you guys coming along the ride with us, especially even this week.
And with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.